Hello, goalkeepers. Welcome back to a new episode. On this episode, we're going to be talking about something that is really crucial for goalkeepers. However, not everybody has it correct. And this is the goalkeeper gloves. Goalkeeper gloves can really change your game. It can boost your confidence or even they can make you more skillful. However, choosing the right glove sometimes is really hard. For that reason, today I want to give you a small breakdown on how to choose your perfect glove. So first of all, you need to find your fit. There are different types of gloves, meaning that there's different cuts on the gloves, meaning that the gloves kind of feel different on your hand. So personally, you need to go ahead and try the different cuts in order for you to actually understand which one you like the most. This is basically divided in four different cuts. First of all, you get the flat cut. This is the more classic where you have a lot of room in your hand. Second, you have the roll finger. This normally has a special thing on your fingers where you can probably have a little bit more of contact with the ball and with the palm. Then you have the negative. The negative cut is going to be way more tighter than normal gloves. And finally, you have the hybrid cut. In the hybrid cut, you have the best of both worlds. So basically, you have that room, but also you also feel that tightness or that closeness to your hands. As I mentioned before, you need to go ahead and try the different cuts. I used to be a big fan of flat cut, and then I started using more of a hybrid cut because I started liking a little bit more tight on my hands. However, I still wanted that pound to feel really secure and feel that I could have catch the ball. After knowing your cut, you then need to start understanding your latex. And this plays an important role because you don't want to have the same training gloves as your game gloves. Because normally the latex is gonna last more if they are less quality. If they have better quality, then they might last less. So for that reason, you need to be really mindful about what gloves to use for training and what glove you use for game. So for example, the soft and the contact latex is really soft. However, like I mentioned, the durability is going to be really low. Durable latex is going to help you to go through all the training sessions, but the grip is not going to be as good as the soft one. And then you also get the wet weather latex. This wet weather latex is specialized only for raining conditions. After that, you get to the wrist part. So we have already talked about the cut, we have already talked about the palm. Now we need to focus about the wrist. So how do you want that connection with your hand? There are some gloves that they doesn't have a stripe. There are some that you give like 3 rounds of stripes, and there are ones that are just a comfortable one way. So you need to be mindful about this. Me personally, I like to have that secureness there. So that's one of the reasons why I actually like something to strap on it. And please be really mindful about this. This happens to goalkeepers. If they have a glove that is not a big brand or they normally don't care that much about that, they will struggle a lot with that. And every single time they will need to be addressing that, and that's gonna take you away of your practice or gonna take you away of your game because now you're thinking about your glove and you're not thinking about your ball. So just be really mindful about that fit. Finally, we can talk about the finger save. So my personal opinion, the finger save, you really don't need it unless you actually got injured and you're coming from a recovery. However, after you come back from that recovery, then you need to take it away and go back to normal. If you're a shoot goalkeeper and you believe, oh, I'm gonna buy, or if you're a dad and you believe, oh, I'm gonna buy finger save for my kid for him to actually don't get injured, forget about that. Because you want them to get used to actually have the contact of the ball in their hands. But if you create that sense of protection or whatever, then they're gonna rely on that every single time. So stop buying finger save unless you actually get into injury. Okay, with that being said, like I mentioned, you probably want to have different pairs of gloves. One for training, one for games, for special events, whatever. So try to invest a little bit less on those training gloves and try to invest a little bit more on those game gloves. Like I always mention people, and I wish I knew this early, you need to invest on gloves. Why? Because at the end, they're part of your tools. So if you can perform better with a better hammer, do it, right? You don't want to just get the cheap hammer and take you 4 hours to actually build something that you could have built in 5 minutes with a good hammer. So be mindful about those things. That being said, I'm going to talk about my 3 top gloves. In first place, and I'm not being biased, is the Elite Combi. Why do I like this? Again, because it has the hybrid cut. I think it fits perfect and it's a great balance regarding feeling your hand and also having good paddling for catching the balls. They are also not the most expensive gloves out there, and they will last for a long if you take time, if you take care of them. With that being said, we go to our second place. For me, Adidas has always been a great glove brand. So personally, I really like the Predators, but again, they can be a little bit more expensive and they can probably don't last as much as, for example, the Elite. So just be mindful about that. Me personally, like I mentioned, I will put on my ranking, number one is going to be Elite, number two is going to be the Adidas. Adidas also have different cuts. You can find the Predators in hybrid, flat, or but then in my third place, and I'm gonna say the name wrong, but it's a brand that I have always liked. When I used to be a kid, I remember I only had one pair of this glove, and I believe they're really underrated. Hugo Lloris use them, but a lot of French goalkeepers actually use them. But still, I think they are kind of underrated. Unhu Sports Pur. They have a negative cut, and personally, the grip is really good. So, just to conclude, these are my top three gloves for you. Number one, the Elite. Number two, Adidas. And third, Ulfu Sport. Finally, you also need to be really mindful about this. And a lot of goalkeepers don't do this. Take care of your gloves. So what does that mean? It's not about just using your gloves and put them back on the back, right? You actually need to wash your gloves and be mindful of switching gloves every single time. So again, don't buy just one glove and then use it for every single practice, whatever. No, be mindful about switching them, washing them, letting them dry. Don't ever put the gloves on the dryer. Just let them dry with the air in, not don't even put them on the sun. Make sure they are like in a dark place or whatever it needs to be inside, but let them dry with the air. Of course, a pair of gloves is not gonna really define you as the goalkeeper. However, it's gonna play a really important role. And trust me, whenever you try new gloves, you feel different. You feel confident. And there's this big saying about like dress up like the work that you want, or really dress up is gonna boost your confidence. And that's also reality. Knowing that you have a really good pair of gloves is gonna boost your confidence and also is gonna boost your performance. So I'm a truly believer that a goalkeeper that show up with dirty gloves or with dirty cleats or whatever is not gonna perform as well as somebody that actually cleans their gloves, take care of their gloves, and are trying to maximize not only his performance but also their confidence. If you want to learn more about goalkeeping and you have found this interesting, make sure you comment, like, and share with a goalkeeper that needs to hear this. See you in the next episode.